If we were going to stop the expansion of agriculture, you had to substantially increase productivity on existing farmland. But the problem is that the way we had been increasing yields earlier in the 70s and 80s was with approaches to farming that had negative environmental consequences. So what was needed was a new way of thinking about how you continue to accelerate yield increases, because we couldn't keep the trend of reducing yield trends, and at the same time reduce the environmental footprint of agriculture. And that's why we coined the phrase ecological intensification, that it would have two explicit goals. One, to substantially increase yields and continue the yield advance to take pressure off expanding into natural habitat. And two, to do that increase, to achieve that increase, and demonstrate that you can do it by reducing all the environmental negative externalities of agriculture. The ecological intensification became also a way in which we can address the concerns about agriculture's contribution to greenhouse gas emissions, because it turns out that almost one for one, anything you can do to reduce the environmental footprint of agriculture has a positive influence on reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And so it was indirect at the time when we first started talking about ecological intensification. It wasn't directly linked to climate change, but the same principles that you would use to ecologically intensify a system would also have positive benefits on reducing greenhouse gas emissions per unit of production. Can we do it? Can we essentially, what it will require essentially is nearly a doubling of yield on average on our existing farmland if we're going to avoid expanding into natural habitat. And the question is, can we do that, and can we also substantially lower the environmental footprint and the greenhouse gas emissions from agriculture? And the answer is a resounding yes. There's no question. However, it can only occur if there's an explicit focus in our research on the two goals together, on essentially substantially increasing yields, nearly doubling them, and at the same time cutting the environmental footprint in half. And what's happened, and the reason, so if we were to focus on that explicitly, like a laser beam, I have no question that the young people today, with all the talent, all the new technology, information technology, science to bring to bear, no question we can do it.